So we've got some pretty disturbing data from Axios. Oh, look at there. We got Yakko up here. Hold on, we got Yakko. Making noise, doing some purring, you know what I'm saying? All oh no, now he's got his butt in the you gotta go, Yakko. You gotta get down. I gotta do my work. You're in the way. Hold on, let me get him down real quick. There we go. All right, I'm keeping that in. By the way, so there you go. Now back to the story. Back to the news. We got some pretty disturbing data from Axios, but it's really not surprising whatsoever. The Republican Party. One of the reasons that the Republican Party tries so desperately hard to make it difficult for people to vote is because when people vote, they don't win national elections. They just don't because their platform is anti-worker, anti-immigrant, anti pretty much anything that isn't Protestant white Christian. I mean, go down the line. You got these people talking about Haitians eating cats and dogs in Springfield, Ohio. It's just gotten cartoonish. When Reagan came in and they had all that, you had those dog whistles, but dog whistles are gone now. People aren't making dog whistles anymore. So let's go ahead and read this before Yakko jumps back into my lap again. We read. Former President Donald Trump has pledged to conduct the largest deportation in U.S. history if elected for a second term. During his presidential campaign, he anticipated he would invoke wartime means to achieve this, proposing the use of military guard encampments to round up and deport undocumented immigrants, an idea almost half of Americans and most conservatives support, according to a new survey. Oh no. The 2024 American Value Survey conducted by the Public Religion Research Institute found that 50% of Americans opposed the idea of setting encampments, while 47% favored it. When analyzing demographics, Axios found that 79% of Republicans favored putting undocumented immigrants in encampments, compared with 47% of independents and 22% of Democrats. I mean, God, it's so cruel. And we gonna put y'all in encampments because we don't want you here. You're not supposed to be here. Well, I guess none of us are really supposed to be here. You know, you had you had millions and millions of Native Americans who were here before Europeans found it. So we're all immigrants at the end of the day. But the browning of America is what they're terrified of. Support for undocumented immigrant encampments increased among Americans who trust far right news, with 91% of them supporting the idea, followed by 82% of Fox News viewers and 44% of Americans who do not watch TV news, the survey shows. That's definitely a very good look into how impactful the media really is. The media really sets narratives that people believe. PRI also analyzed support for Trump's proposed policy by religion and race. Around 75% of white evangelical Protestants favored militarized encampments for undocumented immigrants, followed by 61% of white Catholics. Support for the policy decreased among non white Christian groups. About 47% of Hispanic Protestants supported encampments. That's amazing. Followed by wow. These people think they white, man. I mean, I guess a lot of Hispanics technically are white, but still, y'all are not part of the club. About 47%, okay, we just read that, followed by 42% of black Protestants, that's also amazing, and 33% of Hispanic Catholics. Unaffiliated Americans showed the least support for the policy, with only 32% favoring militarized encampments. Quote, this is not just rhetoric here. I do think it's one of the more disturbing things that we found. Among other findings, the survey showed that an increasing number of Americans support stricter immigration policies. Concretely, 52% of respondents said they favor allowing immigrants brought illegally to the U.S. as children to gain legal resident status, a 10-point decrease since PRI first asked the questions in 2018. Trump's presidential campaign is using the growing anti immigrant sentiment to its advantage, spreading controversial and mostly false claims about immigrants. Yeah, and again, there's only so far that this can go because at the end of the day, um, people want to know more about stuff like wages, cost of education, the cost of health insurance. Like are we going to save Social Security? Kamala's going around talking about expanding Medicare to cover in-home costs for the elderly. Stuff like that is really what drives more people than just blanket butt naked raw racism. You know what I'm saying? So this works for the Republican Party to some degree, but if it worked all that well, then they wouldn't go out of their way to make it harder for people to vote, because that's a great indication that people don't want what they're selling. Hey now, thank you so much for tuning in here at Politics and Paper. If you like what I do and you support my work, go ahead and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it and really helps to support what we do here.